Moscow, Russia.
We hope to meet some locals and basically just show you what the city is like.
One of the coolest Soviet mosaics. Look at that.
I think I've charmed the lady.
Charmed the babushka. That's big.
Thank you.
A pink Lenin statue. I don't think you'd be best pleased about this.
Fox, 1,000.
Whoa!
Fox?
Oh my god, this one's amazing.
Moscow, Russia, 2025. Two words that I did not think I would be saying. A place I did not think I would be standing. But welcome to the capital of the Federation of Russia. Home to the seat of the Russian government, Red Square, and the Kremlin. Today is our very first day in the city, so we're going to walk around, see how life is in 2025, give you our first impressions, see how the current situation has changed the city with the sanctions that have been placed. But behind me sits the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. We could actually see this building from our hotel room window. This is one of 7 skyscrapers built by Joseph Stalin to make a grander Moscow. This really is a gargantuan city, the largest in Europe. Welcome to Moscow.
The plan today is just to get out and explore. We will see some of the tourist sites that tourists used to visit. We hope to meet some locals and basically just show you what the city is like.
The reality of Moscow.
The reality of Moscow in 2025 and our experience.
It's nice just to walk around, you know, get a feel for the city, see how things are functioning today. We've gone from snow in St. Petersburg to 20-degree sunshine here in Moscow, but I'm very surprised to see this, the Lotte Hotel. So a lot of the Western brands, companies, hotels have left the Russian market, and Lotte being South Korean and Russia having ties to North Korea, just a random building to still be operating here today in 2025.
We're currently just walking around the Arbat street area, and what we noticed was there was a lot of like embassies and consulates, and in the distance we've actually seen the American flag. Now that was something that we were not expecting to see in Russia.
This is pretty insane to be at the US Embassy in Moscow. There's a gentleman behind me standing waving a flag, but there sits the US flag, the man waving his flag, protesting, and there's even a board with some information for American citizens.
So there's a poster behind me with the Russian George ribbon, which is actually a military symbol that they used in the Soviet times as well, and underneath it it says the power of truth, and obviously there is the guy waving the ribbon as well.
This is crazy. Information for American citizens. It says US citizens should not travel to Russia, and those residing or traveling in Russia should depart immediately. A couple of security came out, they're on the walkie-talkies, but yeah, it's crazy to see the propaganda there, people protesting, and then the board with the information for citizens that are currently here residing in Moscow or in Russia. But we're now walking down towards the world famous Red Square, and just have a look at this, one of the coolest Soviet mosaics. Look at that. You've got the old soldiers and the workers, the hammer and sickle.
I find them so fascinating because this is what I thought of when I thought of Russia. You know, these mosaics are so poignant and also so intricately detailed that you can see sort of the facial expressions, what they're holding.
It sums up Russia, right? You've got a Soviet mosaic, and then underneath there's an Irish pub. It's really strange walking around. Everything seems so normal, like in St. Petersburg, but there seems to be some undertones that I can't quite describe here in Moscow, there is a very heavy police and military presence compared to St. Petersburg, but we are now just outside the walls of the Kremlin, outside of Red Square, and we are at the tomb of the unknown soldier. There's the eternal flame. I think the changing of the guard is just about to happen, but along it, it has all the different cities that partook and were part of the Soviet Union. So you've got Minsk there, and Kiev.
That was very strange, but we were lucky because we just had to stand there for 5 minutes to watch the changing of the guards on the hour. But there was a really big soldier with a massive weapon in his hand.
He was just pushing everyone,
just shoving everyone out of the way. I mean, I know he's got to do it, but at the same time it also just felt like really strange. But welcome to the Red Square in Moscow. Kind of feels surreal to be saying that and to be standing here. You'd think that it's called Red Square because of all of the red buildings behind, but actually I think the word red in Russian is very similar to beautiful, and they used to call this square the beautiful square.
when you think of Russia, this is it. Red Square. It's not just the heart of Moscow, but this is the heart of the country. St. Basil's Cathedral in front of me, and to the right, the Kremlin. You know, when we think of the Kremlin, really we think of the government, where the leader of the country lives, but it's a lot more than that. It's actually Europe's largest active fortress. It's home to many cathedrals, to around 20 different towers. And to the right of me, just here, is actually Lenin's Mausoleum. I believe you can visit at certain hours of the day. They've embalmed him, but I think it's currently closed. We'll probably try again tomorrow to come here. The current leader that we all know, he actually added a helipad in 2015 to the Kremlin because when he was just driving away, the whole city shut down. So a helicopter was a lot more practical. But that right there is where Vladimir Lenin still remains to this very day.
We've also noticed that there are such a large number of tourists here that are not Russian or Chinese. In St. Petersburg, it was mainly domestic tourists and big Chinese tour groups. Here you have a lot of Middle Eastern, you have a lot of the Stans countries, and then you have us.
I think we're the only Westerners.
I was about to say, I haven't heard any other Western country tourists here, but yeah, it feels weird to not be one of the only tourists in the city.
The Kremlin. I'm stood next to the Kremlin in Moscow, Russia. Look at it. It's huge with the 5 stars on top of it. I suppose it's pretty iconic, and it wasn't always red. It actually used to be white, and in World War II they actually camouflaged it. They made it look just like a regular house, a regular building. They painted it, they changed the windows so it was hardly affected. And them 5 stars, they always shine. It only hasn't shone twice. Once during World War II to camouflage it, and once when they were making a famous Russian film.
Literally everything is under construction, even the St. Basil's Cathedral, which actually also used to be white for like 200 years. I think they didn't start painting it till the 17th century, but that is what I pictured when I thought of Moscow.
It's actually built by Ivan the Terrible, and they say that the architect or the builder that was behind this building was blinded afterwards, so he could not replicate it. And then Stalin, of course, during the communist period, he completely shut down the cathedral, the church, and there was one man that stood up for this building because Stalin wanted to destroy it, and he was actually sent to a gulag for around 5 years. Now, I don't think we're going to go into the Kremlin today because you can't do too much filming, so I feel like as we're here, we should really get a ticket.
queue was insane, very long, so we decided to skip it and we hopped over to the Kazan Cathedral instead, which is the other side of the square. I believe you can enter for free, and it was actually destroyed by Stalin, so this is the rebuilt version.
Well, that was stunning. You can't actually film inside, which is the case with most things around the Red Square, the Kremlin, Lenin's Mausoleum. But the frescoes are incredible. You wouldn't realise that that was actually one of the first buildings to be rebuilt here in Moscow after the collapse of the Soviet Union. Спасибо.
This is something I was not expecting to see just off of Red Square. This is a very high-end shopping complex. You see, you've got Hugo Boss.
I thought they'd gone.
You have some weird Liviana Conti. Yeah, random brands there. I'm not sure if they should still be here. Apparently 98% of the people in here can't actually afford to be in here. It's also very famous for its food complex, but it is just incredible. It's almost like in an Italian style.
Venice.
Like Venetian windows, yeah. Venice of Moscow.
This is crazy. It's full of brands that I thought had left the Russian market. There's even a caviar bar. This is definitely for the upper echelons of the Russian society, and everyone seems to be eating ice cream. I now want to get some Russian ice cream.
I think I've asked for 2 vanilla ice creams. I don't know if they're 150 or 80. We shall see. Ah,
Спасибо.
Spasiba. There you go. I think I've charmed the lady.
Charmed the babushka. Are you the babushka charmer?
Spasiba. Let's see.
Сколько это стоит?
300. There we go. Thank you.
Спасибо.
There's me giving 100. I don't know what I was thinking. That was me trying to remember all my Russian. Spasiba.
До свидания.
Bye-bye. Oh, that is so cool. Look at the outfits that they dress in. And back in the Soviet Union, I think it was like they had Soviet trading standards, and this was one of the first ice creams to have this said standard. So it's really famous, very popular, and it always comes in a waffle cone. I wanted to tell her it's delicious, but it's really nice. It's good because it's so hot in Moscow in a minute.
I really didn't think that I would be walking around Moscow, Russia in 2025 enjoying an ice cream, but here we are. The weather's great.
No, I'm sure.
We've now actually got to find... They're quite good. It's not bad at all. We've now actually got to try and find somewhere to eat. I'm starving, but I feel like everywhere around Red Square is going to be like fancy, high-end and overpriced.
We were recommending this place so many times, and we were not expecting to find it on one of the main streets just off of Red Square. This is Vareniki number 1, aka Dumpling House or Granny's Kitchen. So they're known for their pelmeni, although they seem to have called it Vareniki in here. So you can get your dumplings, you can get soups, wash, all sorts of food from the area.
Also seems more expensive again than St. Petersburg.
That's what I was going to say. I feel like obviously we can only compare it to St. Petersburg, but yeah, if you're looking at just one plate of the pelmeni, you're looking at about 580, which is a lot more. I will just check the beer because that's something that
the sun's out.
In different places. The sun is shining and we're people watching. Okay, so they have Siberian beer, they have Lovenbrau, and it looks as though it is about $4.90 for a big one. So cheaper than last night actually, but a little bit more expensive than St. Petersburg. So then, can we have 2 Siberian brown light, big one.
Big.
Two. Yeah.
Okay.
It's good,
It's
this
good?
one?
Yeah.
It's nice, tasty. Okay, good. Can we have the 2 pies, the fried baraniki with potatoes and cheese?
One.
Perfect. Yes, please. One, two.
Okay.
Spasibo. Yes, thank you.
Thank you so much. That's big.
Thank you.
Strawberry.
Strawberry. What was this called? Siberian crown?
Our first Siberian beer.
That's nice. That's really nice actually. I'm just sat here on the main street and it still feels really, really strange. We are probably overthinking everything. It's still very overwhelming and we're sort of calculating all of our money because at the moment Western cards are not working in Russia, so we are relying on having all of our cash. Obviously,
We're rationing.
we are rationing our money, using it wisely. But you're thinking about how much you're spending, what activities you can do, what things that you can buy, where you can and can't go. And that plays on your mind quite a lot. And then you look out and you see a normal functioning capital city. People are sitting around us having food, they're out walking, they're shopping, going to work. And then you just...
It's almost eerie.
It is eerie. It's weird, it is our choice to be here, totally get that. But yeah, I just can't, it's hard to convey how you feel. Wow, this smells so good. So, they call them baraniki. I don't know what the difference is between baraniki and how many, but these are the little dumplings. And this version is fried. Very unusual. And I think it's potato and cheese inside. That's so good. Do it some stew or something. And then we have the pies that have a couple of different names. Super traditional.
The lady just gave you yes.
The lady just went, yes, pie. This is cabbage. But they're like super squidgy. It's more like a bread roll. You should get the food. That's nice. It's very cabbagey.
The food was actually very, very good. You can't go wrong with Russian dumpling, but I feel like we should have sat inside. I just went to use the toilet. Look at this place. It's like an old Soviet home.
So how expensive is Moscow, Russia in 2025? Let's find out with our little Soviet passport that the bill comes in. So for 2 meals, a side dish and 2 beers is 1,985.
That's cheap, considering we're basically on Red Square.
Red Square,
$20.
centre of the city, $20. That's really good.
I'm a fan of Siberian beer, but I feel like we need to head out of the centre of Moscow. We'll probably come back around the Red Square area later today, but this is the best of the entire country. So I think we're going to get on the metro and just like head right out of the city to see both sides of the capital. Спасибо.
This is insane. Their stations are unreal. Check this out. This one's actually faded. It's not a mosaic. It's sort of in the tiles with hammers.
Something between 1917 and 1947.
They just do metro stations so well. Oh, okay. Now to buy the tickets. Oh, there's no one there. And we can't buy it on the machines either because I think it's card only. And you can't change it to English.
Здравствуйте. Извините.
The cash register is closed. Brilliant. This is like Revolutionary Square. Oh, how do you change it to 2? Should I just pay
Just
by
buy one and then buy another.
Hang on, I'm going to need to Google Translate this. How do you know what is cash in this place? At least you can actually pay by cash. Keep your eyes out in case the woman comes. Let's see. Cancel, pay by credit card, pay by QR code, accepted banknotes. Let's just put the notes in. So it's 75 euros.
I think we have a ticket.
We've cracked it. That was actually the first difficult situation we've had on the metro. Normally it's really easy. But what is happening now? Oh, yay!
Each station here in Moscow is just so unique. There's just statues, bronze statues all the way along the metro station. I think that is probably Lev Yashin. It's got to be the greatest Russian footballer of all time. Means nothing to you?
Means absolutely nothing to me, but it's a cool statue.
They do say in Russian culture it's good luck to strike a statue, so cheers, Mr. Yashin. Well, this is completely different. We've headed right out of the city. Look, surrounded by woodland. It all feels so surreal when you get on that metro and you go through the metro system here in Moscow. It feels like a simulation for the statues, the Soviet symbols. It's like a video game. Well, this is really different. We're about 11 kilometers outside the center of Moscow. We really wanted to show both sides of the city, the best and the reality, and actually it works out well, because it turns out that a hotel that we booked for in a few days time is like right here. One of these, no way is that our one.
Oh my god, is it?
I don't know.
There seems to be 4 like old Soviet hotels. You have Alpha, Beta, Vega and Delta, I believe. I think
we might be staying there in like a week's time.
That might be Gamma. There's a few, but they all look really, really cool. And we picked it randomly, and it's turned out to be quite a cool little area.
To most people, you'd look at that and you'd be like, look at the state of them buildings. But I can't wait to check in a few days' time. But that isn't the only reason we came here. We wanted to see both sides of the city, but it is also home to Moscow's second Kremlin.
Welcome to the second Kremlin. Built in 2007, it kind of looks like a fairy tale village. Now, this definitely wasn't the picture of Moscow that I had in my mind, and they say that it can be quite controversial because somewhere around here there's a pink Lenin statue.
This is ridiculous. The Kremlin that you've never heard of, it also doubles as one of the biggest bazaars, markets in all of Moscow. So it's a win-win. You can come here, see the brand new Kremlin. Could you imagine the leaders of the Soviet Union living in a fortified building like this? Soviet Disneyland. And tucked away in the corner, almost in the back room, sits a pink Lenin statue. I don't think you'd be best pleased about this.
Look at that. Would you want to be a pink statue? I mean, it does look really, really cool. And I've seen too many bronze Lenins in Russia so far. I like the pink one.
A liberal Lenin.
Hello.
Hello.
Speak a little English?
Yeah, hello, welcome.
You speak English?
English.
Ah.
Deutsch.
English.
Espanol.
Only
No,
English.
unfortunately not.
Hat.
My whiskey покой.
I already have a hat, but I am looking for Russia football t-shirt. Football jersey?
T-shirt, no. Net of a hat.
Like locomotive or...
Hats, давай мate hats. 1,000 rubles.
Are they real?
Fake.
Fake. Oh, okay, good.
А вот wolf.
This is wolf?
Да.
No.
Wolf.
How do you get?
3,000 rubles, wolf.
And
Where
this
do you get
over here, this is
Это wolf.
this is real?
Это реал.
Oh my gosh.
Wolf.
It's real?
Big.
But where do you find them?
Same.
In the forest?
Same, real wolf.
Oh, they look too fluffy. Whoa.
Siberian.
From Siberia.
Okay.
Siberian wolf.
Siberian wolf.
Да, сейчас Мира.
I mean, it feels warm. and soft. I'm not sure how comfortable I am having a wolf on my head. I have rabbit,
Wolf, more than
sheep.
2.5 minimum, 2.5.
I
And-
really appreciate the wolf, but no.
And this one is rabbit?
Это sheep.
Sheep. This is
Rabbit.
rabbit. Okay.
And this one is 1,000?
1,000.
Okay, we take 1,000. Because you're a... I already have one, but you're the nicest man in this market. Thank you, my friend.
Так, one. Так, Arno, Talib, это rabbit.
Maybe another time.
This one is good, the
Это
sheep.
one.
A few
Давай
days.
food.
No, another time. Спасибо.
Спасибо.
Thank you so much.
Такой.
It is beautiful, but I like
Давайте,
this one.
Mademoiselle Fox. Давай.
Are you the best seller?
На тебе, Fox, 1,000.
Whoa.
Fox?
Oh my god, this one's amazing. We don't need another hat though. This is beautiful.
Ну, давай, black.
Question.
Black.
How do you say beautiful in Russian?
Russian.
In beautiful. How do I say?
Что такое beautiful?
Katusha? No.
Катюша, песня?
Beautiful.
Ну да, это very nice, как раз Катюша.
Very nice.
Катюша. Very nice.
I don't think that means beautiful.
Ah, it's very beautiful.
It is
Free
beautiful.
model, 1, 2, 3.
Another time. Thank you so much.
Может, совет у нее?
Oh, this is nice. I look round, I come back.
1 minute, 1 minute.
He drives a hard bargain.
How do you get them off?
Mina Zavut Matt. And you?
Меня Расул.
Ah, Rasul.
Я
Right.
Дагестан.
Oh, from Dagestan. Ah, like Khabib.
Хабиб, вот, Хабиб Нурмагомедов, вот.
Ah, papaka.
Папаха, да.
I have
Hey,
papaka.
mister. Looking.
I now look like Khabib. I'm okay for papaka.
Давай.
Nice to meet you.
Next week I go to Grozny.
А, Грозный very nice.
Grozny.
Грозный, Махачкала.
Yes, both. I go to see Khabib.
Грозный, Хабиб
Khabib.
Нурмагомедов.
Yeah,
Ислам Махачев.
Makachev, lots and lots. The best
Кадыров. Boss.
boss man, leader.
No, we're fine, honestly. Nice
Спасибо.
To meet you. Очень приятно.
Очень приятно.
Снимаем. Auf Wiedersehen.
Ah, до свидания, до свидания.
I don't know German.
What a character. So we've now made it into the bazaar that sits next to the Disneyland of Moscow with the fake Kremlin. I came here for a football shirt, but he drove such a hard bargain. I now have my very own sheep Soviet hat. So this is Izmailovo Bazaar, which will be a lot busier at the weekends. Does this look all right? I didn't even want one. I already have one from in St. Petersburg, but I suppose now we can have two. But unfortunately, it's a bit later in the day now. A lot of the stalls are starting to close. We specifically came here because we're desperate to find a Russian football shirt. You can't find them anywhere.
These are so cool, and this is exactly what you think of when you think of Russia, isn't it? I think they're called matoshkas. Hi. Добрый день. What is the name of these?
This is size 5 pieces.
Open.
This is all the
Sorry, 1 second. What is the name?
this matroshka.
Matoshka, I thought so. Oh yeah, look, it's
This is 5 pieces, all different color. All
Oh, they're
different
really
color.
cool. You have so many.
Did you make yourself? Did you make? Did you this? No.
This is the all different color master. All
Yeah,
master,
they have
different.
masters. Okay, thank you. Let's have a look. Which one do you like?
We'll have to get one that's small.
Yeah, well, have you got a smaller one?
This yes. This
We need space.
is 5 pieces.
Oh, so
In size 10 pieces. In size 10.
look. They're so cool. I love these. So each one has a oh my gosh.
And they get smaller and smaller.
Yeah, whoa.
That's right. Oh, this is small, 10 pieces.
Ah, how much is it? Сколько это стоит?
Это 600 рублей.
Oh, I do not understand.
600.
600.
My Ruski plakoi. Would you do 500?
No, yes, big one, 400 rubles.
Oh, big one is 4.
No, this is all different color. This is small handmade and this is
I see. Oh, bigger one is...
Oh,
okay,
I
we will
see.
get bigger one then.
Yes,
Okay, if you want a bigger one.
This is model 800 rubles. Big.
Ah, very big
Yes,
one.
all different color. More different color.
I'm thinking 500 rubles. What can you give me?
500 rubles. This is
We will see.
yes, 400, 700,
Oh, it's in
80.
between.
And then you have different ones of... Ah, you have one... How much is
This is
Lenin?
2,800.
Oh, this one.
that's-
1 minute. This is all different colors.
Ah, you have different Lenin, Stalin.
Wow.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeltsin, is it?
Brezhnev.
Brezhnev, Gorbachev,
Gorbachev.
Putin.
That is very clever.
That's really clever. That one is a little bit too big though.
No, I give two. No, small.
You have a bit of everything.
This is small.
How much is small one?
5 pieces, 1,500. No, this is handmade, no machine.
Yeah, I know,
This
it is
very
really
good.
Would you do a good deal for me today? Would you do this one for 1,000?
It's 1,300. Okay. No, 200 rubles small pieces.
Oh, what do you think?
Okay, big one 2,000. Small 1,300.
1,200.
Okay.
Okay. Spasiba.
Big one.
Yeah,
Oh, this
they're
one is
really
nice.
cool.
This very good.
This one is very
Only one?
unique.
This is one of a kind. Yeah, only one, please.
Okay, no problem.
Really cool.
Where are you from? Dagestan? Chechnya?
No, Tajikistan.
Ah, Tajikistan. Ah, very nice.
Tajikistan, Bapesh.
I have not been before. I want to go.
Spasiba, thank you.
Spasiba. Thank you, my friend. До
Thank you so
свидания.
much. Nice to meet you. Oh my god, that is obviously the coolest matryoshka you've ever seen. I don't know if that's a good price or not, but the fact that it literally goes through the list of leaders,
Soviet leaders.
wild.
You know what? Whenever you go to areas that are a little bit rough around the edges, you always find the nicest, most interesting characters. And yet again, like everywhere that we've traveled in Russia so far, everyone has been so friendly, down to earth, willing to help us. And it was very interesting to see that the first gentleman was from Dagestan, Caucasus Mountains of Russia, and the second was from Tajikistan, so from Central Asia. But it was nice to be able to talk to some locals. You know, Russians are known to be quite standoffish, and I cannot speak much Russian at all. My Ruski, very plakoy. Can't speak much of it whatsoever, so it's nice to be able to have an interaction with a couple of locals. But we're realizing just how big this city is. We've taken the metro again for about 30 minutes. It's like Tokyo, and you're still like in the center of a built up big city. But we've come here specifically for the Fallen Monument Park.
And this is actually Museum Park. I have to be honest, since we've been in Moscow, all we've noticed is that it is a very clean city. Not gonna lie to you, it's very clean.
Feels very safe.
There's no rubbish on the floor. They have public toilets, free public toilets that are also very clean.
I know people would love us to say that, like, I feel really unsafe, there's rubbish everywhere, but I'm giving you our truth. And at the moment, look at this, very nice green spaces.
We can only show you what we see, what we go to. We're trying to vary where we go and what we see.
I think we're being very diplomatic.
Definitely.
So this park actually started back in 1991 after a failed coup against Mikhail Gorbachev by this character here. He was the head of the secret police and very high up in the KGB. Well, after this failed coup, this statue here was dumped in front of the river in this very spot. And since then, more and more Soviet statues of leaders and new forms of art have been added to this park, and it's a very cool place. Well, this guy here, he would have been listening to you.
You certainly do not see many of these Joseph Stalin statues. Apparently this was actually in New York at like a world fair, and then it moved to Moscow, and then it got teared down. He's actually missing his nose, and half of it has been
destroyed. Yeah,
destroyed.
and
This is so
it sits here today in this very park. It isn't just old Soviet statues that you'll find here. They've added a lot of new contemporary art, and this here, 282 heads to symbolize some of the victims of Joseph Stalin, those that were sent to the many gulags across the country, never came back. I find it really interesting seeing Lenin here. Why did Lenin make it to this park, almost graveyard of old Soviet statues? Because you see so many still standing in different squares across across Russia today. You've even got Karl Marx. I feel like everyone unanimously will say Stalin, he was an evil man, we know it, with the gulags and everything else in between. But Lenin, he's a divisive character here in Russia. Like I said, in some towns, in some cities, in some districts of Moscow, you're going to find his statue sitting proudly in the center of the square. But then you have others, like this one here. It did stand in Kiev until 2013.
I can't believe it. It was free to walk around that park and check out all of the monuments. I think that for us, walking around there, it's so interesting to see different parts of history and work out where they once stood before they ended up in a park on the Moskva River. But we happened to stumble across possibly the ugliest statue, so people say, of Peter the Great. And we're just sitting here watching everyone walk along the riverfront. Again, just feels really strange and
it
surreal.
feels really normal, which makes it eerie for me, and that is definitely a strange statue. So apparently originally it was meant to be Christopher Columbus, built for the Americans, but the Americans didn't want it, they rejected it, so it was turned into Peter the Great. But the strange thing is, Peter the Great didn't like Moscow. He was all about St. Petersburg. He founded St. Petersburg. So on numerous occasions, people have wanted this destroyed. There was even a terrorist plot to remove it. But it still stands here today, almost 100 years later, and it is almost 100 meters tall. I don't know, I kind of like it. I really can't believe how alive the city comes at night, just walking along the river. You saw people, couples, out dancing, you saw people painting, and now we're back on the iconic Red Square. We wanted to see it in the evening, at night, as the sun is just starting to set. And I can't believe how busy it is, how many people are out. And I think it looks even better as the sun starts to set, and you can see the stars lighting up.
We're going to have a slow walk back to our hotel, maybe find somewhere to have a drink along the way. And I feel like today's been pretty busy, so it's quite nice to sort of just take in the fact that we are here in Moscow, in Russia, admire the Red Square again. It's so different at night as well. Well, there's so many people around, but yeah,
it really comes alive.
it does. It just, I know we've said it a few times, but it just feels so surreal.
I have been searching for a Russian football top far and wide and haven't been able to find one anywhere. The good thing in Moscow is that you've got 4 teams. You've got Dynamo, you've got Lokomotiv, you have Spartak, and you have CSKA. The national jersey, impossible to find, but right near our hotel we have found the Spartak Moscow store. So fingers crossed I can finally get a Russian football shirt. Now this, look at this beauty. The problem is they don't seem to have any in my size, and they are very expensive if you pick the wrong one.
There's so many different ones to choose from though. These ones are like 10,000, these are 4,000.
So this is $100. Oh, you have?
Oh my gosh, you've got to try it on.
I've got to try this. This is the first place I find in all of Russia.
Here we go, try it on. I love this one as well.
I'm so happy.
Yeah, I love it.
What do we think?
Yeah, it's so good.
It's good?
Look in the mirror.
Let me see, let me see. Oh, look at that.
At least it's red as well.
The thing is, 75% of Moscow will hate me. CSKA, Dynamo, if I wear this.
Oh well, at least it's a nice one. The thing is, we want to collect a Russia jersey. If you can't find it, the next best thing is this.
Okay, yes, it's perfect. Thank you so much. Spasiba.
Thank you so much.
If I wear this, and if a Dynamo fan sees me, he punch me, right?
Maybe.
The hardest country in the world to find a football shirt so far, but we've done it. Spartak Moscow. The lady said that if I see any Dynamo or CSKA fans, maybe they will punch me, but $40 for an official shirt I think is an absolute bargain. I guess that's it. Spartak are my adopted Russian team. Now all we need to end this day is a beer. The coolest bar restaurant ever, Zhiguli. Is this a bar or is it a canteen? Spasiba. Cheers.
Zdravie, Zhiguli bar.
Cheers, Nastravia. And guess what you drink in the Zhiguli bar? A pint of the finest Soviet beer, Zhiguli.
It also says famous Russian beer on the bars, which I love.
That's actually really nice. It was 300 rubles, so about £2.80, $3, and this actually doubles as a stolovaia, which is like an old Soviet canteen where you just go up, order all your food.
Full of babushka.
It's full of babushkas. Ordering your beer is actually quite intimidating.
It is.
But really cool. We walked past this a couple of times because it's right near our hotel and it's so busy again. It's strange that we're in Moscow in 2025 and how normal everything feels. The bar is full of people drinking, the streets are full of people walking, partying, dancing. It's hard to take in. I'm trying to be as open-minded as possible. Zhiguli, I also think it's an old Soviet car. Very cool bar. Well, I didn't expect to wake up and see a military parade here in Moscow, Russia, but good morning. We are up, fueled by the Zhiguli last night, and we are currently queuing to see the body of Vladimir Lenin in the rain. This is pretty intense. The security to get in here was through the roof. They're also practicing for the 80th celebration, the Victory Day parade here in Moscow, so everything is very heightened. We can't stop before going to see Lenin's body, but before that we're next to the necropolis here on the Kremlin walls, and you can see some of the graves of other Soviet leaders and celebrities, but we have to keep moving.
We're going in. That was insane. I can't believe that we were all sort of like staring at a man that's dead. I don't know, it was really strange. He
didn't look real.
Immaculate. Yeah, didn't look real. I know he has a whole team of like people that take care of him.
A lot of chemicals.
So many chemicals, but weirdly enough, he didn't look how like pictures portrayed him just before he died. He just looked like all the
young.
statues. Yeah.
That was crazy. You're walked into this room, you're rushed round, and everyone checks that you're not filming, that you don't have any spy glasses on. Strange. He died in 1924, I believe, Lenin, and he actually wanted to be buried with his mum in St. Petersburg, but Stalin demanded that this mausoleum was built, and he's remained there ever since. Stalin actually used to be in there with Lenin, but obviously the outrage from the public, he was moved and he was relocated just out here, along with a lot of other Soviet leaders and even Yuri Gagarin. That was a really strange place. Lenin is in there, and I just saw him at the walls of the Kremlin in Moscow in 2025. Well, some people say it's a mannequin. Some people say it costs too much money because of all the chemicals to keep him embalmed in that way. People are queuing up to see him. It's like the supreme leader. That was strange. That was very, very strange. I have just seen the body of Vladimir Lenin. It was almost North Korean-esque, but it gave me a chance to walk around the walls of the Kremlin, and it was free. I don't know what to make of it. It was all very weird, but I kind of secretly really enjoyed it at the same time. But that brings an end to our first couple of days in Moscow. At the start, I was, of course, again, a little bit paranoid, but all I've been met with, again, is incredibly friendly locals. What we're trying to do across our month in this country is separate the people from the government. Us coming here doesn't mean, you know, we agree or we support, but we travel to different destinations to get a first-hand impression. And we always try to only buy and support locally. Like my little Russian doll from the market. Look how cool this is. Look, Stalin, Lenin, a lot of them, and it just gets smaller. But that was Moscow, Russia in 2025. I'll be honest, in some areas it seemed a little bit more on edge. There was a heightened presence of certain individuals, but as a whole, friendly locals. And I have to be honest, incredibly clean, incredibly modern, seemed, I suppose, incredibly safe. We've got a few more days here in the city, so we'll see you in the next one from Russia.